Have you ever stared at your P&L and felt a physical sensation in your gut? That hollow, sinking feeling where the numbers don't even seem real. Where one click of the mouse erased weeks, or even months, of progress. Your confidence isn't just shaken. It feels shattered. You're not just questioning your last trade. You're questioning your entire strategy, your judgment, and maybe even whether you have what it takes to do this at all. If that's you right now, I want you to know two things. First, you are not alone. Every single trader who has ever pursued consistency has been right where you are. Second, and more importantly, this does not have to be the end of your story. In fact, how you respond to this loss will define you as a trader more than any winning streak ever could. Today, we're not going to just talk about feeling better. We're going to build a structured, step-by-step protocol for your comeback. We'll cover how to emotionally detach, analytically review your disaster trade without bias, and strategically reduce your size to systematically rebuild your most important asset, your confidence. Let's get started. Acknowledging the emotional wound. Before we look at a single chart, we have to deal with the psychology. A massive loss is a trauma to your trading psyche. If you try to ignore the emotional impact and just jump back in, you're setting yourself up for failure. You'll be revenge trading, overtrading, or becoming paralyzed with fear. So step one is granting yourself permission to stop, right now. Close your trading platform. I'm not saying close it for the day. I'm saying close it for the rest of this week. You need to create space between the event and your analysis. The market will still be there next week. Your capital is finite, and your mental capital is even more so. Protect it. This isn't running away. This is a strategic retreat. You are giving yourself the bandwidth to process what happened so you can return with clarity. Step 1. The Emotional Detachment Protocol. Detaching isn't about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about processing the emotion so it doesn't control your next decision. Here's your 3-part protocol for this. Part A. The Emotional Audit. Get a journal. Open a notes app. I don't care what you use, but you need to download everything in your head onto paper. Write down the answers to these questions without filtering yourself. What exactly am I feeling right now? Anger, shame, fear, stupidity? What is the story I'm telling myself about this loss? I'm a fraud. I'll never get it back. I'm doomed to repeat this. What physical sensations do I have? Knot in stomach, tension in shoulders. This act externalizes the emotion. It gets it out of your swirling thoughts and onto something you can look at objectively. Part B. Normalize and contextualize. Now, look at what you wrote and add this context. This is a normal biological and psychological response to a perceived threat. Your brain is reacting to the loss of resources exactly as it's wired to do. Furthermore, this is a rite of passage. I can almost guarantee that every trader you look up to has a story about their own annihilation trade. It's not a sign of failure, it's a brutal part of the curriculum. Part C. Physical reset. You cannot think your way out of an emotional state. You have to act your way out. Force yourself to engage in non-trading activities that require focus. Go for a long run. Lift heavy weights. Get into a flow state playing an instrument or working with your hands. This isn't a distraction. It's a biochemical reset. It burns off the cortisol and adrenaline and starts generating endorphins. It reminds your body and brain that you are more than your P&L. Step 2. The Analytical Review, the Forensic Report. Once the emotional charge has subsided, and this might take a few days, you can now approach the trade like a forensic scientist. Your goal is not to blame yourself. Your goal is to understand the mechanism of failure. This is for proactive professionals, so we're going to be brutally detailed. Open your trading journal. You are journaling your trades, right? And let's break this down into components. 1. The setup. Was this trade even within your predefined edge? Pull up your trading plan and be ruthless. Did the chart meet every single criterion? Or did you fudge one of the rules because you were bored, FOMOing, or trying to make back earlier losses? Be honest. 2. The entry. Was your entry precise? Did you get in at the level you planned, or did you chase it? 3. The risk management. This is the most important part. Where was your initial stop loss? Was it placed based on technical analysis or based on how much money you were willing to lose? Did you move your stop further away after you entered the trade? Did you even have a stop? 4. The position sizing. Here's the killer for most massive losses. Calculate what percentage of your account this single trade risked. Was it 1%, 2%, or was it 5%, 10%, or more? This is usually the core of the problem. 5. The psychology during the trade. What was your mindset after you entered? Were you nervous and closed a winner early? Or were you overconfident and let a loser run far past your stop? Did you add to a losing position, averaging down? Your job is to create a written report titled Root Cause Analysis. The conclusion of this report should not be, "I'm an idiot." It should be a precise diagnosis. I violated my risk management rule by risking 8% of my capital on a single trade due to a lack of patience. Or I entered a trade that was not a plan A setup because I felt left out of the move. Step 3. The strategic rebuild, the confidence blueprint. You've detached emotionally, and you've diagnosed the problem analytically. Now, we rebuild. And we do it not with a grand slam trade, but with a series of flawless singles. Your number one goal now is not profit. It is process validation. You need to prove to yourself that you can execute your plan perfectly. And the only way to do that is to radically reduce the stakes. This is non-negotiable. You will reduce your position size by at least 50%. If you were trading 2 lots, you now trade 1. If you were risking 1% per trade, you now risk 0.5% or even 0.25%. I can hear you now. But it will take forever to get back to even. That is the wrong mindset. You are not in the business of getting back to even. You are in the business of rebuilding your strategy and your confidence. The money is a byproduct of correct process. Trade at this drastically reduced size for a minimum of 10 to 15 consecutive winning trades. And by winning, I mean trades where you followed your process perfectly. The outcome is secondary. If you followed your plan, entered at the right level, placed your stop, and took profit according to your rules, that is a green checkmark. After 10-15 of these process wins, your nervous system will have recalibrated. You'll have evidence that your system works and that you can execute it. Then, and only then, do you consider gradually scaling your size back up to your normal 1% or 2% risk. This is how you systematically rewire your brain for discipline and confidence. Pulling it all together and mindset reframe. Let's recap the protocol. 1. Strategic. Stop. Close the platform and grant yourself space. 2. Emotional detach. Journal, normalize, and physically reset. 3. Analytical review. Conduct a forensic, non-biased root cause analysis. 4. Strategic rebuild. Slash your position size and focus exclusively on process validation over profits. This massive loss can become the most valuable learning experience of your trading career if you allow it to be. It exposed a flaw in your system, your risk management, or your discipline. Most traders never find these flaws until it's too late. You've found yours. Now you have the blueprint to fix it. This event doesn't define you. Your response to it does. If this video helped you, the best way you can pay me back is to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It truly helps the channel. And I'd like to hear from you. What was the biggest lesson from your last big loss? Share it in the comments below. Sharing it helps you solidify the lesson and helps others realize they're not alone. Remember, focus on the process and the profits will follow. Thanks for watching, and please, don't forget to watch our next video that shows on your screen now about revenge trading. Until next time, stay mindful, stay disciplined, and may the charts be ever in your favor. Happy trading!